You know, there's a lot of reasons why we moved off grid. One of the reasons is because crime in the city is absolutely insane. It's getting worse. Our economy is in tatters, basically. We're almost getting close to $34 trillion in debt. That's not sustainable. It will collapse. And so moving to less populated areas was something that I put a high priority on my list of things to do, because when it does happen, I don't want to be in these urban areas. A third reason is our schools are absolutely crazy today. They're not teaching our kids anything. I was watching a news report the other day talking about how traffic controllers can't find people who can pass the test. And right now our country has a severe lack of traffic controllers. Well, that's because our public schools and our higher education learning areas aren't producing viable candidates to take jobs that require, just a little bit of intelligence. And these are mostly reasons why we homeschool. And then there's the fourth reason. Our food system today is absolutely insane. You got so many processed foods out there. They're laden with chemicals. Almost everything now in your stores is made with bioengineered ingredients. These things are not natural. And so we raise our own food. And a couple of these males, there's some males out there, and they're going to get ready to be butchered here soon. And when that happens, they're going to go into my freezer. Now, that's very important because I do have a pantry where we can a lot of foods, but I also have a freezer where I keep meat that I can use whenever I need it to prepare foods, prepare dinners, things like that. So I have multiple options when it comes to food production. I love being able to cook, and I love being able to have that feeling of producing foods that are healthy for me and my families. The foods that you eat at the restaurants today, unless you go to a Michelin 5-star or 2-star restaurant, they all come off the same Cisco truck. All those foods are all processed. They're all a bunch of chemicals. Doesn't matter where you eat. Now, you guys know I don't do a lot of product reviews. I get asked by companies all the time, hey, can you review this product? Can you review that product? 95% of the time I say no. It's got to be something that I can see a benefit for and that my audience will see a benefit for. These two solar panels right here are used to power my freezer. And what these solar panels do is they charge a solar generator that powers just my freezer. That's its sole purpose. So the company called Oupes has reached out to me yet again. This will be the third product that I have talked about on my channel for that company. And every time they come out with a product, it actually gets better and better. They add more features. There's just new things that they do with their products and has more abilities. And so I continue to be impressed by those products, and that's why I agreed to share them with my audience. The American Society of Civil Engineers, every 4 years, has to come out with a report and grade our nation's infrastructure. And that has to do with roads, bridges, our water systems, which is another topic for another video we'll talk about. It's really rated poor. And then also our energy. The energy infrastructure. Do you know what the grade was that they gave in 2021? It was a C-. Now, as a homeschool dad, a C- to me is not acceptable. Okay, I demand excellence from my children when it comes to homeschooling. And so if my child takes a test and gets a C- on it, that's not going to fly. I want my kids to excel and do well in life, and I demand higher grades than that. So if our nation's energy infrastructure is only given a C-, you better have ways to back up your systems. If you have a deep freeze and the grid goes down because a C- is not good, that's fragile. So today we're going to talk about redundancy in systems, making sure you have power options if our grid goes down. I don't want our grid to go down. That's why I have made my own power company. I have made my own grid. Let's talk about how we can do that for you. Now behind me right there is our SunGold power system and our lithium iron batteries. These lithium iron phosphate batteries power my entire house. But let me show you what I got in front of me. This is the Oupes Mega 3. And for the last 5 days, this has been powering my freezer. I have a freezer full of meat right here, and in the mudroom that we have inside our house, this is where this sits, and those two solar panels come in right here and get powered in through an Anderson jack into the back of the Mega 3. Now the system right now is sitting at 33% because we have a lot of cloud cover this morning. It hasn't had a chance to charge back up, but we are going to get some sunshine today and it'll charge back up to 100%. But it's been running a little bit longer than average normally because there's just no sun right now. But as soon as that sun comes out and hits those solar panels, this thing's going to get back up to 100% and it'll go for another 24 hours. Having a system like this is essential for backups. If you have a freezer full of meat, this powers so many different things. It has all the outlets here. It's got outlets for DC power, for your car, and then for Anderson hookups to power things, USB hookups, things for your cell phone. And it's all lithium iron phosphate batteries, the same kind of batteries that I use to power my home. Additional features for this are amazing. It's a 3,000 watt unit and can be expanded up to 15K. Guys, that's basically enough to power your entire house in an emergency. It's portable, you can take this in your vehicle, and it has an app that you can remotely monitor the unit from. And let me make one thing clear. Most of these electric vehicles that you see out there are not lithium iron phosphate batteries. They do not use lithium iron phosphate. They use lithium ion, which is a completely different animal. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are so much more stable than lithium ion. That's the kind that you see in these vehicles. The Oupes does not use those unstable batteries, and they're good for up to 10 years. After 10 years, you're going to get probably around an 80% still usability. So it's not like in 10 years they just stop working. Now, even on my home batteries, I have what's called a BMS. It's a battery management system. Also, the Mega 3 has a BMS that protects for overvoltage protection, overcurrent protection, and overheat protection. And as you can see, this can be used as a backup system. So let's just say you're on grid and the C- grid goes down. You can install a transfer switch and use this system to power your home. You can charge this basically one of two ways: an AC charge port on the back, a PV Anderson input on the back. It has overload protection switches, basically circuit breakers. And then it has an extra battery port so that you can expand the system for increased energy. Listen, a number of YouTubers out there have reviewed this system and others like it from this company. It's a good system. They give it glowing reviews. This is the time of year where sales are happening. You know what I'm talking about. If you want to jump in on a system like this, now is the time to do it. I have a link in the description below where you can check out the system. Do your own research. Read the reviews. Watch the other videos from these other YouTubers. Some of these are very big channels. There's a reason why people, listen, I'm an off-grid guy. I've been off-grid for now over a decade. I am my own power company. And because I am my own power company, just like the regular power company, I have redundancy and backups built into my system. I understand that things break. I understand that things, break down. I understand that a C- rating on your infrastructure, energy infrastructure in this country, may all of a sudden just one day go kaput. Then what will you do? If you don't have redundancy and backups and are thinking ahead, what will you do? Especially if you have a freezer full of meat where you have tried your best to have food sustainability. And now it all goes haywire. What will you do? I'm pushing this product because I believe in it. I'm pushing this product because I think it's good to have a backup. Redundancy, self-sufficiency, self-reliance has always what I've talked about on this channel. Let me give you a little bit more information on this whole American Society of Civil Engineers. I examined the report card put out by the American Society of Civil Engineers, and I found this line. I thought it was very interesting. Let me read it to you. To build a transmission line, you have to contact at a minimum 47 different federal agencies. Are you insane? Besides being slow to respond, the agencies typically do not coordinate their efforts. You may have one agency that says do this and another agency that says to do exactly the opposite, Lynch says. The permitting that's required to build these lines is huge. It's a huge hurdle. It takes 10 plus years to permit a transmission line, meaning to get a permit, Lynch says. We can build them in a year. Of course, time is money. There have been some lines for which the cost of permitting was 5 times higher than the cost to actually construct the line. So this is one of the reasons. Going back to the beginning of the video, I'm like, I got to get out of the cities. If it's taking you 10 years to build a line, a transmission line that really only takes a year to build, and it's because our federal agencies are so inept, they're so full of bureaucratic red tape that it takes 10 years just to get the permits for the line. A society that's that inept, that's that disorganized, cannot continue to function. It will fail. And so, again, the reason why I say redundancy and backups, be your own power company, be your own grocery store, be your own water company, be your own waste disposal. You have to take these things on for yourself, or at least think about them. How would you do it if all of a sudden it was turned off tomorrow? The Mega 3 is one of those ways where you can definitely save some space and save some time and save some money and just get that peace of mind that you may need if it was all unplugged tomorrow. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I know a lot of you guys have already bought some of these products from Oupes. I have reviewed them in the past. I think they're a great company and they produce a great product that's only getting better with time. There's been times in the past where I've said, oh, I want these features, and then they add those features to the product. I'm not the only one asking for these things. Other YouTubers are as well, and they're listening to people. Okay, I've even given one away at the last time we went to the Ozarks Homesteading Expo. I gave a unit away to our patrons. I'll see if I can work a deal with a company to do that again in the future. But anyway, right now is the time of year where people are giving away all kinds of deals. There's all kinds of sales. Link in the description below if you want to get one. I highly recommend picking one up. All right, guys. Again, love to hear your comments below. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye. 2023 is almost over, and a recent Bloomberg article states that the central bank gold buying binge around the world is bigger than anyone previously thought. And in mid-November of 2023, the Dutch central bank admits that it is ready for a new gold standard, having equalized all of its gold reserves relative to its GDP. Like it or not, everyone in the world's banking sectors understands that the U.S. reserve currency status is going to fail. The U.S. dollar today is not backed up by anything of value, and that now includes oil. In fact, our national debt is now larger than our entire GDP. Just the interest alone on our debt is larger than our entire military budget, and it's only getting bigger. Congress won't stop spending money, and the Fed won't stop printing money. The smart money around the world is moving to gold and silver, and you can too. AmericanGoldEscape.com can help. If you have money and cash reserves banked away, or if you have savings in a 401k or IRA, and you want to move that money to physical gold and silver, AmericanGoldEscape.com will begin that process for you. This company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and will answer any questions you have about safeguarding your wealth. Time is running out. Do not wait any longer to visit AmericanGoldEscape.com. Link is in the description below.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.